Okay, hi everyone. What we're going to work on today is basic guard. And the reason that we're going to look at this is because I often talk about the wedge, I talk about the ball, but it actually integrates into everything that we do. So I want to look at how you would make a basic guard. Okay, we might be doing karate, we might be doing kickboxing, semi-contact or whatever from the sports aspect, but also from a self-defense, from a fighting aspect. Now, generally speaking, what we don't want to do in self-defense is to stand there and go, I do karate. We don't want other people to be able to identify what we do. So generally speaking, we might be starting with our hands down. But as and when the opponent makes an attack, if you make an attack at them, I have to bring my hand up to this wedge point. And this wedge point, again, becomes the point that I touch the opponent to be able to strike straight in. But this is also synonymous with a guard. So if you looked at a guard, even if we were doing it as a boxer or a kickboxer, the way we shape our body is exactly the same as we do it in kata, in form, in basics, in freestyle, in fighting. So it's a really important bit of knowledge to have. So let's start from here, from this wedge point. Now from this wedge point, the Chinese call this child prays to Buddha. Because when they go to the temples, the adults do this, and the kids do this because they're looking around and they want to see what's happening and what's going on. Okay, this also is the jeet point, the moment that you touch or intercept the opponent. This is often known as a bridge as well in Kung Fu. So as you can see, it's very, very common in all types and all styles. So, you know, if we wanted to test someone's bridge, this is what we would be testing. Okay, so taking it from here, this is the important angle and the important distance that our arms need to be from the body. And also, if you look at it quite naturally, when Adam is a little bit further away, I feel quite comfortable. As he starts to walk forwards, here, I start to feel decidedly uncomfortable. So if you like, this is where our auras clash. And this is where someone starts to get in your face. And we all know those people that stand too close when they talk to you. They go, hi, how are you? And you kind of get out of my face. You know, so there is a natural point that we don't want someone in our face. So this distancing becomes quite important. So our guard and that distance happens to be from here. And when I talk about the wedge and the ball, the spinning and turning of the ball, you know, we see this three-dimensional sphere around the body. And this is the point that we're not going to let anybody in unless they're very attractive. Okay, so this point here, no one's going to come inside this space. From a self-defense point of view, this is quite interesting because we don't have to think, when am I going to react? You know, when am I going to attack? Because we know we're not going to let somebody past this point. And this point goes all the way around our body. So even if someone's here, I'm not going to let them inside this space. So even if I'm dealing with somebody here and I can feel this guy here, if he's infringing, it's at this point I'm going to be, you ain't coming in past that point, mate. Now, I'm not going to let him in that space, because if he gets inside that space, he can grab, grapple, choke, strangle and so on. So I'm not going to allow it to happen. Okay, so here, back to our basic guard. This is our wedge. If I turn sideways on, it becomes here. If I point my fingers towards the opponent's face, or fist, doesn't matter, bring this one in. So now we start to talk about posture. And if you look at a human's physiology, we were quadrupeds, we were down on all fours. Some people still are. So we had to have this sinking or hollowing in the chest to enable our body weight to go through what was our legs. So when we stand here, if we bring the chest forwards or bring the chest out, you can see I can't put any energy or power through my arms. Luckily, when I do this, I have to soften the chest and hollow it to bring my hands together. So now quite naturally, if you were going to hit me, I would close the chest. I wouldn't go like that to let you hit me, I would go like that. And if you were going to hit me in the back, I wouldn't go like that. I'd go like that. So the back has to be open, and the front of the body and the chest has to be sunk in. And if you look at any boxer, they're always going to be like this. So it's something that's quite natural, but it's worth looking at. So when we make our guard, sink the chest. This also means that the rib cage won't come up. If we lift the rib cage, and if you chest breathe, you will lift the rib cage, you separate upper and lower body, so you can't connect to your feet. So you need to drop the ribs, sink the chest, open the back. If you can, nudge the shoulders slightly round, point the front hand towards the opponent's face, and the back hand wants to cover this side of the face. The elbow protects the ribs in here. This elbow protects the ribs in here. So we've gone from our wedge point to here. This gives us the best defense that we can have. Now this means in the lower body here, I would protect by using the leg and the knee. I wouldn't drop my hands. I'd use my leg to defend down here and my hands to defend up here. My hands will defend the head, my arms will defend the body, and my legs will defend from the waist down, generally speaking. That gives us the best defence. Now we don't have to stand like this all the time. We can stand normally and naturally. But what it means is, if Adam is making an attack, at that moment I immediately come straight into the guard. So as you can see from here, my arm is protecting through the ribs, my hand is protecting at face, but striking him in the same areas. This hand automatically slides in as he goes to hit with this one, will slide in through here or control through here. And if he doesn't use this hand, it's going to come in to strike as well. This also means if I can destroy his balance at the same time, because I'm using the wedge, it also means that I've destroyed his balance. So when we touch, I'm in balance from feet, postural alignment of the body, mindset, breath, still breathing from the stomach, and I can take that away from him. I can take him out of his feet, break his posture, disrupt his breathing, change his emotional state, and I've won on the first touch, or at least I've taken the advantage. So when you think of a guard, don't just think of standing and waiting from someone back here and standing with a guard like this, because actually you'd be giving it away. You don't have to do anything until he hits that point. You're looking at that wedge point the moment that he gets there. So whatever he's saying, whatever he's doing, the moment anything comes to that wedge point, I'm in. And I'll stop him from that. Would have gone in his face, but I don't want blood on the dojo floor. So this will stop him and destroy him from coming in from here. So you can see, using this idea from the feet, through the postural alignment of the body, we've got a natural strength coming through the body that you wouldn't have. If I'd lifted my rib cage, if I'd been out of my feet, as he comes forward, he would knock me off balance very easy. And you quite often see young men doing this to each other, which is a really stupid thing to do. You want to do the opposite. The animal that usually wins is the one that hunkers down. Sink in the chest, down to the feet. Open the back. Emotionally, breathing from the stomach makes you feel stronger. The way you shape your body makes you feel stronger. It's more like an animal. So your basic guard when you fight is not necessarily what you do back here. Really doesn't matter, because we're not touching. But the moment he comes close enough, that's the moment that we have this guard. We can bring it up. It's not just a guard, it's an attacking move at the same time. Okay, so think of it, when you think of a guard, think of your feet, think of your posture, think of your chest, your back, your breathing, your mindset, the wedge point, and you're cooking with gas. Okay, thank you.